Hey guys, I'm Mandy, and we are back for another coffee and conversation, and I'm here with Jessica today.
Hello.
She is a member here at the Collective and was sharing some really, I think, important information about this idea of oversharing on her Instagram yesterday. So I wanted to go a little bit into that and then talk about how, as leaders, how can you show up authentically, and when do you overshare, and when do you kind of rein it back a little bit? So let's dive right in with what was going on with you yesterday. Tell us about that.
I've gotten really invested in the lives of people that I follow on Instagram. So, Jen Hatmaker announced yesterday that she was getting divorced from her husband. And Rachel and Dave Hollis had announced a few months ago that they were getting divorced. And I have been so concerned for the last couple of months about these people. I don't even know them, yet I am very much concerned for their hearts. And then I wondered, why do I care so much? Like, why am I even invested in their lives? Is it because they've brought me in?
Right.
I feel like they have been authentic and shared everything with me. I feel like how I share some of my story is based on what they have done. So am I scared for myself because I'm devastated for them?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to take my glasses off, guys. I don't know where it stems from, but that's what kind of started this whole conversation. And then I wondered, am I the only one who is thinking this way?
Right.
Am I the only one wrapped up in these strangers' lives?
Yeah.
And I just need to talk it out.
First of all, I don't think you are.
Okay,
I
good.
know that when Rachel and Dave announced their divorce, I was shocked by it. What I think they've done really well, I remember, I think it was Kathleen Shannon with Braid Creative who made the comment that people will buy from you if they know, like, and trust you. And so when you, as a brand, especially like a lot of us entrepreneurs and a lot of us solopreneurs, we are the brand. We're the face of whatever it is we're doing. We have to build a know, like, and trust factor with our audience. And I think that is a testament to what Rachel and Jen have done so well as a brand. Is not only are they just a person or a brand, but you feel like you're a part of their lives. You feel like you're their
100%.
best friend and that they've come into your home and had coffee with you. And I think that is a really great thing they've done really well in their businesses.
Totally. And the fact that they can be consumed in so many different ways. You've got podcasts, you've got books, social.
Yeah.
I've seen both of them in person. I think you have as well.
I have as well, yeah.
And so you just feel like they're a part of your life in so many different ways. And I think that's the point to get started with, is that they want to be brought in for that reason, the know, trust. But where is that line? How much can you share?
Yes.
Where people aren't blindsided, or how much do you share that it's like, that's really none of my business, or which side of the pendulum
Are you on?
are you on? And is there a fine line to where that you've shared and not enough, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to where we're blindsided if we know everything else about you and then you hit us with this.
Yeah.
I'm just so sad. And maybe they're the same way. They didn't see it coming either.
True,
you know?
true,
So
yeah.
we're feeling it with them.
I think that is one of the things we talk about as business owners, and especially in our small groups a lot, is how much do we open up. And we strive here at the Collective to show up authentically. I think that's one of the things we talk about with our small groups a lot, is just what does authenticity look like for us. So many times there is pressure from competitors or industries to be a certain way, and that's just not who we are. I think as a membership as a whole here at the Collective, and we do walk that fine line of how much do I share, how much is enough, and how much is too much. So I would love to hear your comments. If you guys are watching live, be sure to leave some comments below, because we'd love your thoughts on this. What do you share and what do you not share? I think, was it Brene Brown that said, people have to earn the right to hear your story?
Yes, absolutely.
And I think there's something to that.
There are. We're not putting it all out there.
Yeah.
Just getting bits and pieces of it. But who do you trust? Like, do you share your whole story with the world like they've been doing, and omit some parts?
I think you can,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're a solopreneur or you're a brand who may be looking at going under or looking at closing your doors. You can share struggles. One of the things that I love is when entrepreneurs talk about how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. Because then you make others not feel so alone. You give them permission to have heavy days. And then at the same time, that's just as motivating to get up and hustle the next day.
So true. Well, and I think that you can share without sharing like the nitty-gritty details.
Right.
Like, this is hard, but it's not hard because of your financial situation or like the exact details. You can say, we're struggling right now because my husband is in oil and gas and the industry does suck a little bit right now, but we're not sharing the actual nitty-gritty
like
details.
Dollars and cents of how it affects your family. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you do a really great job of that.
Well, I try and be authentic, and I think that's why this concerned me so much, is because I really try and share, but I don't want to get to the point where I am sharing too much to where my husband feels like we're airing our dirty laundry. You know what I mean? But I also don't want to put on this life that's so wonderful and not hard, when the truth of the matter is every day is a little bit of a struggle come 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know?
Right. The school bus gets home, or the kids shut down the laptops. It's like totally different.
So
I think we're in a different era. And we were talking about this with some of the other members here just last week, of where we saw the boom of I'm going to say Instagram because that's the platform we're on, where people wanted to show the highlight reel, and here are my travels, here's all the pretty pictures, here's everything like so shiny and new and pretty. And I think we're ready to pull that Band-Aid off. And I am seeing more and more people show the stretch marks on their skin and no makeup faces. And you see influencers doing this, you see brands doing this. I love when Dove had their campaign of like what a real woman
body
looks like. That was one of the first campaigns I remember from a national brand who really embraced kind of authenticity. And so I think we're showing up more and more like that, but I think you're right, there is a fine line of how much is enough and how much is too much.
Yeah, and I am on the fence trying to figure that out, because I've always felt the biggest connection with family and friends and people on the online community when I've shared postpartum depression, when I've shared different struggles that I've had. That is usually like what reaches people.
Yeah.
And people reach back out to me. And so sharing about how concerned I am about these strangers' divorces, we're all in the same boat, but sometimes we fear sharing those things because you don't want to share too much, or you don't want to sound like psycho. You know?
Yeah, I hear you there.
You know?
But I think one thing, like, you touched on this earlier, and I think that's something we have to be careful of as solopreneurs and brands who are sharing, is that we also don't want to project our own fears onto those audiences.
That's a great point, yes.
And so I remember you saying at the beginning of this that, like, now am I really worried? Because now I'm concerned about my own marriage.
I'm vulnerable.
Yes, yes. And that's one of the things we talk about in the coaching world a lot is, can you empathize without like taking on that weight? That's not yours to take on. And so I think that is a good indicator for us as entrepreneurs is, can you share, but are you then projecting that same philosophy or that same ideology onto somebody else and expecting them to pick that up? Yeah,
well, we are.
I know.
It's terrible.
And that's
we
where we
shouldn't
have to,
be.
like,
That's
as consumers,
exactly.
we have to draw that line.
That's exactly right. We have to say, you know what? No, I don't need to take that pain on for them.
Right. I can still be sad as a friend.
Absolutely.
Or sad as an audience member.
Yeah.
But it's not my pain to bear, and I can't let it affect my marriage at home. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, so we would love to know if any of you guys are as sad and affected by recent announcements of divorces. And again, where you feel like, did they overshare by announcing this on social media? And I'll tell you the truth. When I was divorced, it's almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years this month. I did it very, very quietly. I asked my boss for a day off, and he was like, yeah. I was like, I just have some personal stuff. I went to the courthouse, signed the documents. I came back into the office that afternoon.
Wow.
And it wasn't until like 3 weeks later I said something about my ex-sister-in-law that my boss was like, you got divorced? Like, he was traumatized because I hadn't shared any of that, and he wasn't able to walk that journey along with me. So I do think that there's also like withholding information can be detrimental as well. So yeah, we would love to know everybody's thoughts on this and where you stand on like, where's that line?
Exactly, because at the end of the day, you don't owe anybody anything.
Right.
We don't
We don't.
owe sharing your secrets or telling your life, or and I think as a culture we kind of feel entitled to it, just like we feel entitled to so many
instant gratification.
things.
Everybody
exactly.
wants it, right?
But you don't have to give it all away, or even a little bit. I had a friend comment back to me, and she said the thing about people who are in this space is that what they share, they're not sharing the most painful points of their journey, and that was really eye-opening to me. It's like we don't know what the bottom line was. We don't know what truly was going on and what really was the most painful. Even though they shared some pain, the truth of it, they may not even know what the truth of it was.
And I think that goes to the point.
You can't get into it.
Right. I think that goes to the point of oversharing. And even what Brene was saying when Brene Brown said people have to earn the right to hear your story is you can tell people I'm walking through a divorce, or you can say me and my husband are getting a separation, but that dirty details.
Right.
People have to earn the right, and some may never earn that right.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a real belief that when you show up authentically, then you're going to attract the clients and customers who want that same authenticity back.
Absolutely.
And so I encourage you guys as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners for your brands and for you personally, to still put things out there, to still share, but just kind of gut check with yourself. Is this enough? Is this too much? Am I withholding to where I'm not being authentic?
Gut check, or even that's the great thing about this community, is like I can reach out to you or other ladies who are sitting here working and say, okay, I'm about to share. I do a weekly email. Like, I'm about to share this email. I'm putting this out in the world. Is this too much? Is it not enough? Is it, but just checking your circle.
Yes.
And making sure that it's a safe space.
Yes. And I love your emails.
Thank you.
She does this amazing email every week called Jmail. But you share like the messy house and the messy life and the messy kids. And at the same time, your audience can feel the love and the gratitude that is cultivated in your family.
Well, thank you.
But there's no picture perfect.
Right. I'm just hoping to serve everybody and share that, you know what, like, God has been so good to us. But life is still hard. That hashtag blessed, it's like, okay, yeah, we are, but it's still super messy.
And here's reality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's still
absolutely.
complicated. It's still messy. There are still stains on the floor and scratches
100%.
on the baseboards.
Oh, and so many crowns on the wall.
Right.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. So, thank you.
Okay, so I want to ask you before we part, what makes you feel most boss?
Truthfully, whenever I hit that send button on my email.
Oh.
It's fairly new. I've been doing it for a few months now, but whenever I sit down and like pour everything into it for, the week or a few hours or whatever, and whenever I get it done and I send it out into the world, I just think,
okay,
I'm like working.
That's right. Done.
Did it.
And they're so great. Okay, so if people want to sign up for Jmail or they want to follow you, how do they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. It's my full name, Jessica Lee McCullough, Leigh. You can find me from Mandy's page and the Collective page, and then I'm on Facebook, and then on my Instagram page I've got a link to Jmail, which you could sign up for that as well. A little link.
I'm telling you guys,
link
it's
tree.
the best, and she's a great example of sharing just enough, but not too much as a leader.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
All right, if you guys have any comments or feedback on kind of that line on sharing, please leave comments below. We want to continue this conversation offline. Thanks, guys. Until next week, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.